No.
Good deal. So we're gonna be 2 minutes off on the recording. So let's add 2. Let's pretend if we can.
I will.
Yay, team. And you'll keep an eye on participants. I want to remind
Yep.
everybody to add chats. If you have a question for me, don't hesitate to come in the chat room. It's nice to see everybody this morning on a Monday morning. It is Eric in the hot seat. A couple of other things to do today. I'm going to put this in chat myself so I can remember. I want to talk about notifications. I want to talk about CRMGrow. I want to talk about my friend Ryan's event. And Barbara wants to say good morning, but she didn't say good morning to you guys before she said good morning to me, because Barbara and I met for coffee earlier. So yes, I've already said hi. Hello, Mr. Decker. How are you?
I'm good, Eric. Thank you.
Good. Nice to see you. Whoa, that's a haircut. That's like you remind me of the barber Floyd from Mayberry RFD. That's what you remind me of.
Who are you talking to?
Cleaned up.
You. Yeah.
It's not a haircut. It's no glasses.
That's okay. Close enough. Sterling's like Mayberry RFD. I have no idea what that's the extension of Andy Griffith's show, which again, Sterling's like, what is that?
I've never even heard of that. You must be old.
Oh, okay.
Kind of unsubscribed after it went into color. Just didn't seem to be as good to me.
No, you know what? The original is the original, but I still get addicted. Anytime I'm fast flipping, and I see Hogan's Heroes, I have to stop. Beverly Hills Bullies, got to stop. I Dream of Jeannie, got to stop. And the one that no one ever watches, but my 3 sons. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Okay. With that said,
Don't forget Hee Haw.
well, I forgot Hee Haw. That was nighttime entertainment. Okay, welcome everybody. Oh, smaller roster than normal. Maybe some people are running for bill. That's probably a good reason for it. But we are being recorded, and thanks, Kim, for doing that. Kim, is there any administrative things that you want to update? Nope. Okay. Tuesdays and Thursdays. You need me, or you're just here? What? Prince? I'm back. I got a contractor here, so that's what typically happens. I want to start today by saying this. We're going to be on a run. The run is, I personally will be here next Monday, but then for a couple of weeks I won't be. And what I want everybody to remember is the things we teach here on a weekly basis, the common things we talk about on a weekly basis are just like this toothpick floss. Kim, it's video. We can watch you squint your eyes, just so you know. I have a friend of mine named Dan Duran. Dan lives in Washington State. And I visited him, it has to be about 8 years ago, 7 years ago. And when I visited him after lunch, he said, give me a second, I have to go floss my teeth. And I go, what? He goes, yeah, don't you floss? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, at night. He goes, no, after every meal. You have to floss every meal. And then he made a statement to me. He said, you know the feeling you have when you floss your teeth, how good it feels? And I go, yeah. He said, I had to tell myself I want that feeling 3 times a day, rather than at the end of the day, and some of you know who I'm talking to, going, oh yeah, I better floss. And so what he did is he created for himself in his mind something that was a positive out of something that, for the most part, it's not that flossing is negative, but I'm not asking you to raise your hand if you guys do it, because I know the statistics are just woefully bad. Now you're asking what that has to do with what we're talking about today, and the answer is it always has to do with what we do repetitively. And what we repetitively do is make phone calls. And so the question I'm going to ask yourself, want you to ask yourselves is this: when you're done making calls, do you feel better about yourself? Do you feel better about your day? Do you feel better about anything? And if you don't, maybe you should think about that you should. When I'm done making my calls, this is what I think. I say, you know what? If I just do that every day, I know I'm going to sponsor agents. That's my statement. It's not about what I just accomplished. It's about the concept that I'm making calls on a daily basis, and therefore I feel good that I did it. It isn't about, oh, I just had an appointment, or I got 4 no-shows, or I got 2 people to hang up on me. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with I'm looking for a positive experience out of every habitual move. Why? Because that'll encourage me to do the positive experience over and over again. Now, Kim, is that making a little bit more sense? So what I want everybody to do is think for a moment. This is workshop. Think for a moment, something you do on a daily basis that you don't like doing. Whatever it is, think about it. And if you care to share, it doesn't matter what activity it is. Doesn't matter. What is it? I'd like to know. Anybody? Something you do every day that you really would prefer not having to do. Go ahead, Brian.
Showing homes some days.
Okay. So when you're about to go show homes, what do you think?
Oh, I don't know. I really enjoy it, actually. I'm being sarcastic, but I mean, sometimes you get a buyer. I had one the other day. I mean, I went through like 23 homes before we got him, got him under contract. I mean, it was just, that's brain damage to me. So.
Okay, so let's agree 2 things. We both agree it's brain damage. We both agree that if you look back over the last year, there were certain buyers that you had to take to 23 homes. Yes or no?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
part of the deal.
Over the next year, will there be certain buyers you have to bring to 23 homes?
Yep.
Okay. So who's the foolish one for getting frustrated?
Me.
So what I want to do is I want you to change that thought process. I want to consider changing that thought. And ask yourself, for everything I do that's negative, why don't I put a positive spin on it? I know that there's a certain number of, I know that over the course, by the way, Brian, how many houses do you sell a year? On the buyer side.
15 to 25.
On the buyer side.
On the buyer side, this year's been different. It's mostly been listings, but maybe 8 or 10.
Okay, so out of those 10 people, are there 2 or 3 you're going to take on that you need to take way too many homes?
No, of course.
Okay.
That's just the way it is.
Oh, but see how that is? You already know that's the case.
I know.
We put ourselves through it. I want you to use that experience and ask yourself, are you doing the same thing on the agent attraction side? Anybody else have something else they do on a daily basis or regular basis they don't like doing? I don't care if it's laundry, the dishes, it doesn't matter to me. Take the dog out, whatever it is. What's the one thing we do that we'd rather not have to do? Name, anybody? Everybody else does everything they love doing with no excuse.
Laundry.
Laundry. Okay. Great. Here's a question. As hard as it is to do, here's a question. 2 things about doing laundry. Number 1 is laundry is like cleaning. It takes as long as you give it to do. I created a habit years ago. That habit is I don't like doing laundry. So I'm going to do it quickly without thinking about it. And my goal is to get it done immediately. So in other words, I wait for a moment that I can put everything in the wash, whether it's 1 wash, 2 or 3, and I immediately roll them and get it done. Why? Because I don't want it being a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday activity. Now you might sit there and say, but I don't always have that much. That's not true. We will make time for things like laundry that we choose to make time for. And so what I decided to do with laundry was this. I love the fact that when my clothes are clean, I don't have to worry about laundry for in my case, another period of time. So when I'm doing laundry, I make this decision. God, when can I get it done? Because the minute I get it done, I'm free for another week. And believe it or not, that's the way I deal with negative situations. Why am I talking to you about Kim about that? Why are we spending this much time on this subject? Because there's too many things in agent attraction that you still have for some reason you don't like. Whether it's learning the script, whether it's making the calls, whether it's doing follow-ups. The reason we're not doing all of those things with less effort, with less energy, is because we're working too hard because we're still thinking too much. We spend too much. How long have you been doing, Kim? How many years have you been doing laundry?
Do I have to say?
No, more than 20?
Yes.
Will you be doing laundry for another more than 20?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to teach yourself something so that that activity no longer has the same strength and hold? The way you do it is you have to unlock the emotion you have connected to it. This is a level 1 call. So what I want to do is I want you to identify the things in agent attraction you don't like doing, including possibly coming to this training on Monday and this training on Thursday. And ask yourself, what's the positive side of it? How can I spin it? Because the minute you spin it that way, give me an example. I don't know how OCD everybody else is, but I know I'm hugely, and I legitimately am OCD to a degree. I'm on the spectrum. Everybody's on somewhat the spectrum, but I'm on the spectrum. My daughter's fully down the spectrum. So she reminds me constantly that she got that from me. And so bottom line to it is, because of that, every time I go to grab this, I immediately think, oh, do I have enough in stock? Do I have to buy another pack? It's an automatic thing that goes to my brain. In fact, I hold a pickup like this and you say something, your brain goes to something. Doesn't it? Everybody goes to something. If I say to you, Republican, your brain goes somewhere. Democrat, brain goes somewhere. Biden, Trump, whoever the vice president is. I mean, all of the things, your brain goes somewhere. My point is, do you realize that if your brain goes to position you don't want it to go to, you not only can change it, but you have to change it, or it'll always go back to the same spot. So think about 3 or 4 things outside of what we do, or in the real estate world, but not necessarily agent attraction, the 3 or 4 things that every time this word or this thing or this activity comes up, you hammer yourself because it's just not something you want to be thinking about. You can change the thought. And if you change the thought, it will change the feeling. Now, how does that lead into us? Well, let me ask this question. Does this insight help any of you? Are there things you're thinking of right now? Let's talk about it. Suzanne, what are you thinking about?
Just a lot of things in general. I mean, the cat just walked up, and that was one of the things I was thinking of earlier when you were asking that, cleaning her box every day sucks, but it's either I have to clean it or I get to smell it. And, I would prefer to clean it.
So those of you that know me know that I believe I can do lots of things. Now, some of the things I believe I can do, I maybe can't do, but most of them I can. And so I go along with it. So Suzanne, I'm going to give you the way I would clean it. The way I would clean the cat litter box. I would pick my favorite song. I would scream. This is what I would do. I would go, Alexa, this is how we do it. Right? And now it starts. And I would give myself the 3 minutes and 24 seconds during this song to clean the cat litter every day. And as weird as it sounds, you'll laugh about it for a little while. You'll giggle about it for a little while. And then you'll start thinking, you know what? This does make it easier. Alexa, off. These little hacks get me through my day in a much more enjoyable state than it gets most of you through your day. One of the reasons I'm happy most of the time, if not all the time, is because the problem is never the problem. The problem is your attitude about the problem. And most people's attitudes are not very good because they're constantly doing things like the cat litter box. There's lots of cat litter boxes and driving buyers around in your life. And all of those little things are taking an energy piece, taking a piece of energy, taking some positive. They all keep biting at you and biting at you. And then when it comes to agent attraction, you have no energy for it because you know it's something new to you, or you're doing it, but it's still wearing on you. And because of that, what we have to do is distract ourselves. So one of the distractions is my buddy Ryan is launching. Some of us know that I've got a buddy of mine that I've done a lot of networking projects with. And he's a really good trainer, and he trains you differently than most people train. And he came and spoke at our event back in January a year ago when we did the Rockstar event with about 75 to 100 agents. It was awesome. He was a guest speaker. Then we did a training for a while after that. Well, he's doing another small training, and he's launching it tonight. And I want to encourage everybody to do this. It's not expensive, but what it will do, he's doing it for generic recruiting. But what he'll do is put you in a program for the next 8 weeks where you're following a leader. You're following a blueprint. So you have something to hold yourself accountable for during the best recruiting time of EXP's year. October, beginning of November, more agents move than any other time. So if you're in the best time, but your head's not right to, if your head's scattered and you're not feeling like this is the best time for you, you might want to consider just going to his free seminar tonight and just seeing what it's all about. I want to encourage each and every one of you to use outside programming to program yourself. Now, this happens to be something I know will work for people. He's promoting 10 new people in 90 days. Well, in networking, it's a little easier than it would be in recruiting agents, but I do believe that you'll end up with more agents going through that program than if you don't. Okay? Now, if any of you know of another program that you think helps people with an attraction mindset, tell me about it. I'll be more than happy to promote it. And if you know it's credible, then we should be using systems like that until we're fully developing them. So for those of you that would be open, then just connect with me on Workplace Chat, and I'll be more than happy to send it to you. Again, it's a free seminar tonight to launch it for the next 8 weeks. I don't know the details other than this. I asked him the question. I said, so what are you really selling? He says, 8 weeks of continuous effort. I said, okay, I'm in for that. So if you guys, no matter where you are, I would say this: you will learn things through this process that will help you with agent attraction long beyond the course itself. So reach out to me if you want. Anybody got a question about anything we've covered or what I just shared? Anybody? Good deal. Number 2, I put on here CRMGrow. Each week I'm using CRMGrow. I'm releasing my brain from thinking about things that aren't going to make a huge difference anyway. What's not going to make a huge difference anyway? Most of the agents I've already talked to that are in my funnel. Most of them will not get involved with EXP. So why am I following up? Because some of them will. The problem is I spend more time thinking about who I'm supposed to follow up with than putting that energy into making new calls. Anybody relate to that? I'm not saying you're following up. I'm just saying you're thinking about it more than you are thinking about making your calls. And I will tell you that I believe that's not the right mindset. I believe the mindset should be anything you have set up as a follow-up should be priority 1. My priority is whatever I have set up as a follow-up. My priority 2 is initiating a new Zoom. And my priority 3 is to figure out what to do with all the people I'm supposed to be following up with. Anybody relate to that? So here's what I have found over the last 4 weeks. Well, Miss Kim in San Diego has been putting her number, I'll know for sure I'll meet her for the first time tomorrow, but her number 8 shoes, number 7s, I'm guessing somewhere around there. She's been sticking her 7 or 8s up my butt, telling me to use CRMGrow because I'm promoting it like crazy. And here's what I'll tell you it's doing. You taking off your shoe, Kim, and showing everybody? Is that what you're doing? I thought you were. Here's what I'm doing. I'm letting CRMGrow follow up on all my people. And here's what I'll tell you. I haven't sponsored any more, but I haven't sponsored any less either. But what I'm getting out of it is it's not in my brain. I'm not thinking about it all the time. I've got them on automations. Okay? So I want you to know CRMGrow is a wonderful thing for you to offload people to. I recommend you do it. Any questions about that? I'm going to move on to one more topic and then we're going to have a hot seat. Anybody? Questions about what I just covered? Opinions? Tim, have you begun to look at that focus, begun to look at some of the automation and pushing people there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good deal. I will say this, I've gone in and modified my automations. I do recommend you think about doing that. They're not required, but I thought I wanted them knowing on the subject line it was coming from me. Some people would prefer it not knowing that. But my opinion is if they hear my name or see my name and they shut it off, they're not going to get in with me anyway. But that same person, if they happen to see a link about something that I sent them and then find out after the fact it's from me, oh, I'm going to go to this Glenn Sanford thing. Oh, that's from Eric. If their opinion of Eric is not credible enough that they would actually delete my email without reading it, then they're probably not going to follow me in over the next year anyway. So I personalize all the automations. I went into all of the emails personally, and I put from Eric, colon, and then whatever the title is. So they know. Will I get more opt-outs? Yes. Am I okay with that? Yes. Because the ones that don't opt out know I'm consistently sending them things, which for me is more important than the ones that weren't going to get in with me anyway. Does that make sense? Everybody? Anybody have a different opinion? Anybody want clarification? Are we good? You guys all tired on a Monday? Or are we doing okay? Brian, this making sense?
Yep.
All right. Good. Lastly, the word notifications. So I'm going to show everybody this. If you use a Google Calendar, Kim helped me with this the other day. I'm going to share my screen real quickly. Boom, boom. Go to my calendar. That's not it. Go to my calendar. That is it. And I go up here to, I think I'm up here, right, Sam? Right, Kim?
Yes, settings.
I went settings, notification settings, right?
No, go down to the calendar you
Ah,
want
that's
to
right.
change.
That's right.
Brian,
calendar.
that's what we didn't have.
Right. I'll go to my calendar. Now I'm in my calendar, other notifications. Ta-da!
No. Yeah.
So what I've just done is where's my notification? Add notifications. There we go.
There.
So if you'll notice, I've got a notification 10 minutes before the event, 1 hour before the event, and 1 day before the event. These two are notifications. They just show up on phones and stuff like that. The other one's an email 1 hour before. I do recommend you add notifications, and people that are booked through your calendar will see them as well.
Hey, Eric and Kim, on that point, is that gonna, for everything that you have in your calendar, is it gonna, or can you be specific?
It's the default. So when you
Okay.
start something new, that'll be the setting. You can change each one individually.
Okay. Thank you.
And if you ever need more help on that, we do a concierge hour every Tuesday and Thursday at 2 p.m. Everybody remember that. And We also do a more transactions kind of lead gen generic on Wednesdays. So don't forget that. Now, this upcoming week,
This week.
not this week, right? This Wednesday, there is no session with Kim at 11 a.m. Eastern. And next Wednesday a week, there is no session with Kim because that's when I'm interviewing Glenn Sanford. And I'm asking him some really unique questions. You guys want to know what I'm asking him? Yes? No? Do you care?
Yeah, let's hear it.
I am asking him. In your words, what was your reasoning to launch EXP? Number two, although there are those who say EXP is only a recruiting company, talk for a moment about how excited you are about our agents' production. Can you please put in some sort of perspective? Number three, since we have become the fastest growing real estate company in history with regard to agent numbers, please put on your agent attraction or recruiting cap for a few minutes. What would you be the first thing you would want an agent to know if they were open to looking at EXP as a broker, as a broker option? Number four, what are the couple of things you are most proud of here at EXP? Just little sound bites we can collect to use for marketing. Number five, I've heard you say something regarding us being as much a platform as we are a brokerage. I know our acquisition of Zoocasa is part of this movement. Can you please shed a little more light on what you meant by this and what it means to our agents? What's our advantages of being with EXP? Number six, with the market settling as this one has over the last quarter, we know this squeezes many brokerages, many of which were running very thin margins. And just like the last time the market settled, these operations become more difficult to maintain. We had almost 500 brokerages partner with us in the last year. Now, what would you say to a broker that hasn't considered working with EXP now and now is more open-minded than he was before to listen? Number seven, a little harder question. How would you break the ice with a broker if you wanted to initiate an EXP partnership discussion? And lastly, we have an incredible event coming up October 11th to 14th. What would you have us say to guest agents to have them join us? The goal of this session is not necessarily for each of us to hear Glenn's answer, but for me to gather little snippets from his answers so we can load them in CRMGrow and you and I can use them when we're marketing to agents. Just like we have 12 of them, 11 or 12 of them from Jason Guessing, and a few of them from Brent Gove, we're going to get 5 or 6 of them out of Glenn. Okay? We're about to go to the training part of our session today, but I wanted to hit on our admin. Anybody got any feedback on those questions? I can alter them a bit, of course, but can you see how we're going to gather some good information? Good deal. Okay, anybody got any questions at all? What is Zoocasa? Zoocasa is similar to, correct me if I'm wrong, if you know better, is similar to like Zillow for Canada. It's Canadian based solely, and we're gathering, we acquired it over the last 6 months or so. We'll learn how they do what they do, but let me tell you what I heard Glenn, or what I thought I heard Glenn say years ago. He said, we never focused on becoming a better version of KW or Remax or Caldwell. Our goal from the beginning was to be a platform competing with Realtor.com and Zillow and just being a better platform at it. I don't know what all that means, but it does have to do with the fact that we are involved in more, our footprint is bigger than any of the other platforms I mentioned, and how we utilize the data from those, from that footprint, from all those MLSs is what we're doing. My guess, I know we're recording this, so I got to be careful how I say this. My guess is we're in for something we weren't expected in a good way. I have a feeling, and do not, I'm not giving you permission to use my words, and I didn't get these words from anybody else. So this is purely me. I think we're in a corner of the market. I think we're figuring out a way to corner the market to give agents everything they would want. And the only reason they don't come is because their broker won't tell them what we do. Okay. Does that not mean that we are the best brokerage for every agent? No, that's not true. I want you to understand this though. We are the best agent. We are the best brokerage for most every agent you know. They just have to understand how we work. So as I begin to go into the hot seat, I want to change your mind on something. When I'm talking to another broker, another agent, another person, I absolutely believe this. They've not seen what EXP can do for them. So one of the things my buddy Ryan talks about is the dominating thought. And my thought going into every call is this: they have no idea what EXP can do for them based on what they need. My goal is to get that across. That's my goal. Now, ultimately, the goal tangentially is to set up an appointment. But what do I want to make sure they understand is there's something here they haven't seen that would work for them. That's what I'm thinking. They've not seen the way EXP can work for them. And I often will use those words. I'll often during the conversation say, my only goal is to get the information in front of you to show you what, not what you're missing from EXP, but what EXP can help you do that your brokerage can't presently help you do. I just want to show you what's in it for you. Do you feel the difference there, people? Do you feel the difference in a mindset of what I'm trying to accomplish? And what they feel from me is that's what I'm trying to accomplish. I'm not trying to get them into EXP. I'm trying to get them in front of information so we can experience and explore together some areas of real estate they may want to go that they can't go where they are now. And by the way, those are the words I use. I just want to show you an area of real estate, maybe that you can, a direction you can go that you're not going right now, or where you're going. I'm going to help you go faster. Whatever you're specializing in, I'm going to show you the most profitable way to do that. And we have agents doing exactly that in a very profitable way. I'd love to have you interview them, find out some information about what they're doing. It'll just help you on your journey. This making sense? Cool. So as I get into the hot seat performance, anybody have anything specific they want to ask me, or would you like me to use you as the guinea pig? And I'm the guinea pig, I'm the one doing the calling. But does anybody have a specific thing they're dealing with at the moment with agent attraction with another agent? In other words, you're dealing with some argument, some hurdle, some obstacle, something they've said you can't beat, someone that's been running from you, but you know you can get them, you don't know what to say. Anybody have anything?
Eric, I've had a few just, they just keep putting me off. So give me a call in another month, give me a call, too busy type thing. So I just put them off till the next month as a follow-up.
Okay, so give me an example of one of them.
You know, called agent the other day. He says, you know, hey, I'm just super busy right now and love to chat about it, but you know, I just got too much stuff going on, and let's do it maybe next month.
Okay, and when he does do that, is this for the presentation or is this a follow-up?
No, this is to set, you know, set a Zoom.
Perfect.
For Zoom.
So you'd like him to see it sooner than later, right?
Well, that'd be my preference.
Yeah,
to
but
get
if his
him off the
mindset,
list.
if his mindset is one where he's not necessarily sooner than later, then you might put it in front of him the wrong day, right?
Correct.
So here's a concept. Let's think about when we're talking to people. I would like them to be open-minded when they look at this. And I agree with you. Every month they put me off, they're more likely to put me off the next month. So I'm going to do two things here. I'm going to give you a statement that might make you feel more comfortable, but I want you to also understand, I like to say to them, which is not the statement I'm about to say, but I like to say to them, look, I'm good if you keep pushing me off weeks or months. I'm good with that. But how about this? Once we look at it, let's do a quicker deep dive if you like it. That way you know what you're looking at. Would that be okay? I'm okay if you put me off another week, put me off another month. But once you look at it, let's have a couple quick conversations when that happens. Would that be okay with you? They're going to say yes. Okay? Two things have happened. Number one is I've prepared them in a way that I want to prepare them. Here's number two. They didn't just put me off. They've now agreed to something else.
They've really agreed to have a Zoom with you down the road,
That's
right?
right. That's right. Now, they could back off, but the bottom line is I'm more concerned about your emotion than them looking. Because remember, every time they put you off, you lose energy. You immediately feel negative about something. It's just the way we are.
Yeah.
So here's another line. Immediately, I say it very often. Hey, Jim, absolutely no problem. I actually do feel that you want to look at it and timing's not right. So I agree with you, no problem. I just want to make sure. This is not a polite way of saying no, right? You're still open to look, right? Oh yeah, I'm open for sure. I'm just really busy, right? So is this a polite way of saying no? Are you just being nice to me, or are you being? I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm being honest. By the way, that's what I say to him. If I feel in my head, oh, I don't want him to think I'm a jerk, I say, look, I don't want you to think I'm a jerk. I'm not being that way. Anything that comes in my head, I have to deal with, because if I don't deal with it, I'm going to be thinking it. Okay. So when I'm talking to somebody, and if I think in my mind, you know what, I wonder if he thinks I'm chasing him, I immediately say, look, I want you to know I'm not chasing him. If all of a sudden I go, you know, this is coming a little strong. Hey, look, I'm sorry. I know this might feel like it's coming a little strong. If it comes into my head, I'm going to get it out of my head right on the platform. Why? Because I want them to know what I'm thinking. They can take it any way they want. But I give them, okay, I'm on the hot seat. I tell them what I'm thinking. As I'm talking and they're talking, and I go, you know what? They're not even listening. You know what I say to them? I say, look, I know I don't have your full attention, and I don't want it right now. I want a time where I tell them right up front. Sounds like this is not a good time for getting your full attention. I totally get it. I called you out of the blue. Again, boom. You see where I'm going, Brian?
Yes.
It takes a little finesse to do it, but it's easier than you think. Okay? Especially the line, hey, look, I do not have a problem at all waiting another month. I'll wait 2. But Jeff, is this just a polite way of saying no, or are you really curious like everybody else is? Oh, no, I'm curious. Okay, great. You know what that does, Brian? It makes me feel good. It makes me feel good. And like I said earlier, it's all about my head. Anybody else have something else you're dealing with? By the way, one of the things I would do, Brian, is say, look, it seems like you're hit and miss on schedule. What I'd like to do, this is up to you. Some leaders wouldn't do this. Periodically, I'm going to send you just some information every 3, 4, 5 days, something. It may be a recording of a great session we did. It may be a 3-minute interview with our CEO, something. That keeps you and I connected. Would you mind if I just periodically did that with you? Or would you really rather me just wait a month and call you? No, we'll just wait a month and call me. Okay, great. Oh, yeah, you can put me on that. Sure. Okay, good. Now you put them in an automation. Right? My problem is when someone says, call me next month, and then I put them in an automation and now they're getting things from me every 3rd or 4th day, that would piss me off. So I don't do it. Now, some people say that's what you're supposed to do. So I don't know which I'm supposed to do. I'm going to do what I think I want to do and then get it out of my head. Right? Go ahead,
Yep.
Brian.
Well, you know, and the other thing I've been trying to do is trying to edify yourself and even Tim in getting people to show up on Wednesday, you know, you know, either presentation, you know, depending on their timing. You know, when Tim does his, I think it's like 2 o'clock here in Colorado, and then yours is like at 5, Eric. So yours has been a little bit more the people have been more receptive to do the 5 because they're not in the middle of their day, you know, so, but haven't had that many people show up lately, so that's been a little tough too.
Well, in fairness, we're getting more and more. I mean, you know, we're building it slowly, but those of us that are aware of it, it's Wednesdays. Now, again, I'll be out of the country for a couple of weeks. Someone will take over for that. Tim, we have to make sure. Did I already get somebody for that? I think I did.
You got me for the 2 Thursdays, but that's a clarification point. Earlier, you said you're gonna be out next week, but you did not ask for anybody to cover for you on the 1st.
Yeah, I'm out.
You had the,
I'm out the 1st and 8th, not the 8th and 15th.
okay. Well, I've got the 8th and 15th covered is what is in my calendar. Do I need to
I'm
change
here.
that?
Yeah, 1 and 8, if you will. If you can
Okay.
do 1 and 8, that'd be great. Thank you. And now the Wednesday nights, I gotta make sure we have covered the 2 Wednesdays that I'm gone as well. Kim, can we make sure, or Tim, can we make sure that I have somebody for those? But that being said, inviting for Wednesday, what you said, I want to make sure everybody gets. It's nice to be able to say, hey, look, I don't know what you got going on this Wednesday, but you're gonna have two chances to meet a couple of really good guys. Now they're saying, what are you doing? Well, 2 of my best guys that show this thing incredibly well are doing a session. One's doing it at 2 o'clock, one's doing it at 5 o'clock, right? You're going to clearly understand why 500 to 1,000 agents a week are moving this company. And I think, I'm not saying you're going to come, and that's not the design of it. This is just so you know why everybody else is coming. But if there's any way that you can get on there Wednesday at 2 or 5, could you make either of those work? Do you see how I'm doing that, Brian? We're talking about the people, not about the program. Right? That's the way you edify people. Man, this guy's really good at it. You'll like him a lot. He's got a funny this, or he's real detail oriented. He knows exactly what he's doing. He former this, former that. Got it? Good deal. Next, anybody else have a comment or question, or am I making phone calls? Anybody? Tim, does this feel like a real kind of Monday group? I'm not blaming the
A little
group.
bit.
I'm not blaming the group. Look, you're the ones that showed up. The other ones are the right? So I'm happy you're here. Don't misunderstand.
I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yeah, so am I. So am I. Yeah, so I'm on the hot seat. Anybody else is there something else I need to cover? Anybody? No. So I'm on the hot seat. And what I would normally do in the hot seat is pick up the phone, call you, and you respond any way you can. It works better if there's somebody that you want me to call you, so you can handle a specific issue or not. But sometimes it's good. Don't think about what you want to set me up with. Just answer. Suzanne, I call you up and I ring. Just be you.
Okay.
By the way, give me your background real quick. How many years you've been in real estate?
5.
And how much volume do you do in a normal year?
Not the last year and a half has been really, really slow, like almost non-existent.
Okay, good. So I call you up and I say, hey, Suzanne, Eric Golden with EXP. How are you today?
Doing well. You?
I'm good. Listen, let me tell you why I reached out. I won't take too much time. Are you, by the way, curious? I'm in the Orlando, Florida area. I got one question. What area are you in? Now I would normally know that, but what area are you in?
Colorado Springs.
Oh, so just curious. We definitely don't have what we had 6 months ago. It looks like we're having a little bit of settling here. It's pretty true across the country. Are things settling down a little bit in your area, Suzanne, as well?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So if you notice how quick she came back at me, it didn't feel like a conversation. So I'm going to go right to it. I'm going to say, Suzanne, let me tell you why I called. First of all, thank you so much for picking up. I appreciate it. You know, in
You're
today's
welcome.
world, how many agents don't pick up, but thanks again. So as I mentioned, I'm with EXP. And as you probably know, especially in Colorado Springs, EXP is exploding everywhere. Now, Suzanne, I'm not asking you to change brokerages, but I did look up your volume from last year. And it looks like you've been around for a handful of years. You didn't do much last year. We've got a lot of really good things going on right now for agents just like you. And so again, not expecting to change brokerages. We have 500 to 1,000 agents coming to this company every week since the first of the year. There's a reason why 500 to 1,000 agents come every week, Suzanne. My role is to call underserved areas where there's fewer agents than we think we would need. You're in one of those areas. So there's business for you. The question is, have you actually seen our 2022 presentation? And more importantly, Suzanne, given the fact that you need deals right now, have you seen where in EXP we could actually help gather leads and deals more quickly? Has someone shown you our presentation?
No, they have not.
Okay. Great. Listen, no pressure. Love to jump on a Zoom. Today's Monday. Love to jump on the Zoom either sometime in the next I got this afternoon. I have tomorrow afternoon open. And then I've got two.
Afternoon would work for me.
Okay, good. So is tomorrow afternoon. So then I'd set the appointment. Now, everybody's saying this. That was too easy. And I want you to understand something. Every single one of my phone calls is that easy. It doesn't always go that way. But it's always that easy because that's the way I handle it. Okay, so Suzanne, thanks for your time. You didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you did it perfectly. Ring, ring, I'm calling Tera. Tera.
Hello.
Hello, Tera Hollenden, Eric. By the way, incredible real estate agent based on the numbers that I see. This is Eric Golden, EXP agent out of Orlando. How you doing, Tera?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Listen, let me tell you why I'm calling. I've got a unique role here at EXP. I know, as you do, EXP is exploding everywhere. I'm not asking you to change brokerages, but one of the things I do is I look in areas of the country that I think are a little underserved, where we have more business than we do agents. And I noticed that first of all, you killed it last year, post-pandemic. Congratulations on that. Do you have any special sauce, or are you just a hard worker?
I'm part of a really great team that, helps feed me a good amount of leads, and our name's been out there for quite a while. So we have a lot of recognition.
Super nice. I mean, it sounds like a well-oiled machine. How many people are on the team?
Right now, 7, I believe.
Oh, cool. And do you see yourself, if you ever left, would you stay on a team, or are you more of an independent thinker? Or?
I enjoy the team concept. I've actually never not been on a team.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you what I'd love to do is we have 4 different types of teams at EXP. Not going to get into the detail of that, but given your volume and the fact that it sounds like do you generate your own leads mostly, or do most of them come through the team?
Most of them come through the team.
Yeah, gotcha. Okay. So no doubt, is learning lead gen something that's important to you, or do you actually think you'll stay on that team for a long time?
Probably stay with this team for a long time.
Yeah. Tell you if we could do each other a favor. One of the things we have found is some of the teams, like you're talking about, especially great teams, have moved over to EXP. I would love for you to give me some feedback if you would. We're exploding everywhere. I'm not asking you to come. I mentioned that. But if I would share with you just a quick overview of what we're doing, could you look at it and see if your team would function well in our platform? Love to get your input, because if so, there might be a direction we could go with this. Would you be open to just giving me a team opinion of what a team person would think about our model? Would you do that for me?
Yeah, I can probably review it.
Perfect. Now, look, she just went positive. She could have said, well, I really like my team. I like what I am. So go that way.
Okay. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I've been with my team since the beginning, and I love them. I'm super loyal. We're always here for each other. So I don't think I would be interested. I doubt it's a good fit for me.
Yeah. Could you do, you know what? Between the 2 people that are on the call right now, the person that knows you the best is you. And I recognize that. So if you don't think it would be a great fit, I probably agree. Would you do one thing for me? I got a very short, about 9-minute overview. If you're not open or intrigued, it doesn't sound like you are, although I'd love for you to be. You might have a friend that isn't going to join your team that may be open-minded. And bottom line is, as sharp an agent as you probably are curious why 500 to 1,000 agents come to a company like ours. So if I sent you over a 9-minute quick overview, would you give it a quick run and just shoot me a text back with your opinion? Would you do that for me?
Sure, you can send it over.
Now that I talk to people for a living, that sounds like a yes, polite way of saying no. But if I did,
That's what I get a lot. Oh, sure, you can send it.
So, Tara,
Uh,
if I know you're not coming, but your opinion is valuable to me, would you review it for me sometime the next couple days, 3 days, 4 days, and just shoot me a text back and tell me what you think? Again, I don't care if you watch it at midnight, it's okay with me. Would you do that?
I sure will.
Yeah. That's what I do when they're negative or they're, oh yeah, okay, yeah, sure. Sure, Eric, I'll send it.
Sure.
I'll repeat what I say. Hey, I've heard, sure, Eric, I'll review it a number of times. What that generally, that to me means a polite way of saying no. Look, if you're not going to watch it, I won't send it. But would you do me a favor? Because I really do respect your opinion. I mean, you've killed it the last couple of years. You're loyal to your team, and you're going to know good agents. So would you be kind enough just to review it? At least you'll know why 500 agents to 1,000 agents a week are moving. I'll send it to this email address. Over the next couple of days, review it. If you don't review the next couple of days, I'll just resend it. And by the way, given the fact that you're in an area that I don't have a direct relationship, if there's ever a time where you're bidding on an EXP house, reach out to me. I can't guarantee anything other than I can make a call that might get your offer looked at more carefully than if I didn't make the call. So keep my number for that purpose. And I mean it sincerely. I will make that call for you. Okay, Tara?
Do you really say that?
Yeah.
You really go that route?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you mentioned it quite a few weeks back at one point,
And
and
then Brent mentioned it as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
And how's it working? I mean,
Well, first of all, I've only had one person in 4 years call me.
yeah.
Actually, 2 people. Wait, change that. I've had 5 people. 2 of them have called me asking to push theirs forward. And 3 people called me asking if I can get an EXP agent to return the call because they're having a problem.
Jeez.
But what?
But I mean, that's good. They remembered you, obviously. I mean, I get it. That's a great tactic, but
It also makes me feel good. It makes me feel like, and by the way, if you ever have anybody, the other thing, by the way, Tara, is we do a open format training every week on Tuesday at 10 a.m. Central. So if it's designed for more transactions. I mean, we had probate, we had crypto, we had to really run a good open house. And if you don't have that kind of stuff already in your team, let your team leader know. We're more than happy to let them plug into what we're doing. I mean, you know why we're doing it, because the more you listen to what we're doing, the more you're going to realize these guys know what the hell they're doing. And again, if you never decide that, that's fine. But if you ever want a Tuesday link, just let me know on that. But again, hold my number. If you ever have an EXP something, I'm here for it. Yes, I do that. Why? Because I don't want to feel like I'm a cold caller. By the way, you know what I am? A cold caller.
me too.
Yeah. And by the way, I put the helmet or the hat on and decide that's who I am. So, ring, ring, Tim Hollenden.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, Tim Hollenden.
I almost didn't answer. Because that's
Tim,
what I
you
do
don't
to
even know-
numbers I
You
don't
don't even know
recognize.
me and you didn't answer. You always answer phone numbers that you don't know, Mr. Hollenden.
No, I never answer phone numbers I don't know.
Do you expect them to give you the lottery numbers, or do you expect them as an EXP agent trying to call you to get you to look at our program like everybody else?
Actually, I just accidentally hit the answer button. I didn't mean to. I meant to hit the end button.
Well, you get door number B, letter B, door number 2. I am an EXP agent. I do want you to look at our program, but I'm different than everybody else. Let me tell you why. I looked at your numbers. Your numbers are flipping awesome. You haven't sold a lot in the last whatever, but it looks like your team is killing it over there. I don't know if you know this or not, but over the last year or two, EXP has attracted some of the biggest and brightest, both brokerages and teams. I'm not asking you to move at all. Here's what I would know. A guy like you in 15 to 30 minutes would absolutely know whether, not only whether this might at some point be a good fit, but why EXP is attracting all those agents. You may or may not know the answer to that at the moment. That's why I'm calling. If you've seen EXP's presentation this year and someone walked you through the team numbers, then we're good. But if they haven't, if you've not seen what all these other big teams that are moving have seen, I'd love to just, again, no promises from you or from me, but I'd love to get your eyeballs on it. You will not believe what we do for teams. Would you be open to taking a look at just what we're doing? Again, no expectation you'd move, but if nothing else, you'll learn the competition and you can have an extra notch in your belt knowing how to compete against us. I'm good either way. Would you be open to even look?
I don't know. I had a pretty detailed presentation a year ago. I mean, what's changed in a year
The calendar.
other than that?
Well, no, but that's what's changed. I mean, over the last year, my guess is, and by the way, I'm not trying to be funny, but I sort of am trying to be funny. Over the last year, we've added 32,000 agents. Now, had you, as a team leader, I mean, you built a team of 7, but if you'd have built a team of 7 agents here, and I helped those 7 agents here just bring 2 of their friends, you'd have had 6 figures coming in outside of everything you're doing in your team business. And I know that you say, oh, but that's recruiting. And the answer is, but that's why 32,000 people came in. So I want to show you how to make as much money as you're making now, if not more, 2-3 years down the road without having to worry about finding lead sources. Because I know what it's like being a team leader. I've owned a couple of brokerages, been in the industry for 4 decades. I know what it's like. And Zillow's not making it any easier to write them a check every week or every month. Maybe you're generating your own leads, or maybe you need a source for that. If so, I could put you with the #1 lead gen platform in the country and we'll pay for it. So if no one is, I mean, someone may have walked you through our presentation, but I want to walk you through your future. I want to, a year from now, I don't want you to say what's new at EXP. The difference is not what's new at EXP, it's what's different in your bank account. And more importantly, in your time freedom. A year ago, I could have set you up so you can go on vacation with your family and really not worry about all the other agents. Most team leaders can't do that. So again, hopefully you hear I'm not the normal person trying to attract you to look at a company, but would you be open to look at it through my eyes and let me connect some dots and see if it could work for you?
Yeah, maybe towards the end of the year when things slow down, but certainly not right now.
Good. I'll tell you what I'd love to do. By the way, thanks for the vote of confidence. I appreciate it. There's an interview that we did about 6-8 weeks ago with our CEO, a guy named, one of my partners did it, named Eric. And he asked, about 20 questions about EXP and where we're headed and all that. It's really insightful. It has nothing to do with our presentation, but I think you'd find it interesting. If I forwarded it to you while you're driving to an appointment or where you're waiting for an inspection, would you possibly listen to it? Because you ask what's new, he'll give you things that have changed and where we're heading and give you some really good insight. That way, when I connect with you back in 60 or 90 days, you might be a little bit more motivated or at least open-minded to see why this platform has expanded. Would that be okay if I sent that to you?
Yeah, that'd be all right.
Cool. I'll send it to you. I'll check back with you in about 30 days to say, hey, it's me. And then about 60 days, I'll get a little more serious. Does that sound okay with you?
Yep, sounds good.
Cool, man. Hey, Tim, keep doing what you're doing. Let's see if we can help you do it a little bit bigger next year. So Thanks for your time. Have a good beginning of football season.
Thank you. You too.
Now, did I use any master's degree words? Anybody? Did I veer off this script to any major degree? Anybody? That's the way I'm just talking to the person. And I'm looking for any glimmer of light just to say, yeah, that sounds fine with me. Okay, yeah, let's do that. But would you mind if I? Now, those of us that build this week will hear this phrase. What if? What if I could get that? But that wasn't set up for a what if, because I don't know him very well. With people, let me close with this. With people who are ghosting you, what if, that's okay. Good. What if is a great, if I can do this, will you do this? Hey, if I can do this, will you do this? So, hey, I got a buddy of mine that has already built a team. Love to get you and he together. Hey, I got a woman that I know that went from 4 to 8 million. You want to go from 4 to 8 million. I know you don't need to look at the presentation again, but I'd love to connect you. If I can get her on the line, would you like to just figure out, ask her how she did it? Everybody see this? So, any final questions? Suzanne, what were the lead sources you were referring to on our call? Ask me.
When we were playing, when you were calling me
Yep.
on this, you had mentioned lead generation sources. I still need those. So,
KV Core is what we use for lead gen.
okay, I need to
If
get
you
mine
are-
set up. It has not been set up yet, which is
Well, go
really
to
sad.
Tuesday or Thursday, 2 p.m. Kim will be there and she'll give you some guidance directly on exactly how to start setting that up.
Perfect. Thank you.
Tuesday, Thursday at 10, or Wednesday normally at 11, but not for the next 2 weeks. So Tuesday,
Okay.
Thursday at 2 o'clock Eastern. But here's what I would say. If you are an agent who does volume, then upnest.com, ojo.com, and redfin.com. Redfin, believe it or not, will still furnish leads to non-Redfin agents in certain areas, but you have to be an active agent selling
Okay.
houses.
Well, I guess I got to get there first then. Thank you.
And by the way, Wednesday mornings normally at 11 a.m. are designed for you. People that just need lead gen.
So that's 9 a.m. Mountain Time, correct?
Yeah, it's on the calendar, so check with
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Okay, everybody? Anybody got any final for me? Go ahead, Tim.
Just administrative. We are doing the sales mastermind tomorrow, but we're not doing lead gen Wednesday, the 2 presentations Wednesday, or level 2 on Thursday this week because of build.
Correct.
Did I say that correctly?
Absolutely.
Okay. Just want everybody to remember that.
Yeah, and next week we're back to normal, other than we have Glenn Sanford on Wednesday morning. And you're all saying, let me get all my guests to it. I'm not worried about you getting your guests to it. Make sure you're there. You can bring guests if you want. Give them the Freedom Team link. Glenn's going to go for the first 30 minutes. Okay, everybody? Thank you. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you later.
Thank you, Eric.
See you, Bill.